how you doing? And welcome to our channel. So if you follow us on the Thackeray's, which is where we do the vlogs and the natters and the book stuff, you will know that I am working my way through the six Tudor Queens series. And I'm just at the time of filming, I'm just about to finish the Anna of Cleves book. And actually she's not called Anna of, she's known as Anne of Cleves, but it's actually Anna of Cave, I think. She explains it in the book. Well, the writer does. Anyway, so what I thought was, let's look at the six Tudor queens doing tarot readings. And I'm not going to say I'm going to do each one straight after each other, but I am going to work my way through all six wives. It could be tarot, it could be energy work, past life work, there may be a little bit of channeling. We're just going to go into it with an open mind. And obviously, we're going to start with Katherine of Aragon. If you've been following me for some time, you will know that I strongly believe that our current Princess of Wales, Katherine, Princess of Wales, is the reincarnation of Katherine of Aragon. Okay. So obviously the first wife of Henry VIII. And as with all the wives, there's a certain amount of mystery with all the wives. I mean, for some of them, there's lots of mystery, but you know, who were they really? What did they really think of their lives, their marriage, the man himself? What really happened at their deaths? Will we ever really ever find out? Because remember that tarot can sometimes cause more mystery than it does actually giving, real solid factual answers. But I'm going to start right now and I'm going to pick up my deck. I've got two decks. I've got the Astro Matrix, which is this one, and I've got the Radiant Rider-Waite. And we're dropping cards. We're going to connect into the energy of Katherine of Aragon. One of the things I was picking up whilst getting ready for this reading was Katherine of Aragon was trying to show me the real truth of your life, your destiny, your health, your happiness, your pregnancy or lack of pregnancy, all of it, your destiny of all of that being firmly in the hands of a man, your husband, your dad, your brother, grandfather, however it showed up in your life. And that, as you know, I was shuffling, I was talking to you and stopped, and there was one card sticking up like that. So I thought I'll have a sneaky peek at it, and it's the King of Wands. Now, if you've been following me for some time, you will know that in the Meghan readings, because we know that Meghan is also the reincarnation of Anne Boleyn, that Prince Harry and Henry VIII reincarnation again, but they always get this. So for my readings, the King of Wands is the fiery king. Now, obviously, Henry VIII was a red-headed fiery king, and that is sticking up at the time that I'm talking about your life, your destiny, your well-being being in his hands. That's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. And one of the things I'm really picking up on in this series, and it's the one by Alison Weir, is his change of moods and his manipulation. And one minute it can be really loving and these women feel safe and loved and seen. And the next minute they're dealing with a tyrant, either verbally, mentally, distant wise, or actions, beheadings and being divorced and being banished from court. It's a tower moment. It's a clearing. It's a shock. It's being caught up in something that you can't control. And possibly I'm being shown the energy of white knuckle. Now I know back in the Tudor times they would not have had the words white knuckling, but she's showing me that in respect to what we would say. I'm literally having to white knuckle this experience because I'm so scared or I'm so tormented. And it feels as though in her current incarnation as Catherine, Princess of Wales, a lot of what Catherine has gone through the past few years actually has been about decompression of that white knuckle ride. And this is the same for us. Sometimes we'll start to go through things that we don't understand. Why am I going through this? Why am I feeling shit? Why am I feeling an illness? What's happening? And there's many reasons for that. There's the physical present life you've got, but there's also the past life stuff and the generational stuff. So a lot of what our current Princess of Wales is going through is clearing that white knuckle ride. And maybe there's been a point in Catherine, Princess of Wales' life, where she's had to get her power back in one way, shape, or form, because not only did Henry VIII have power over Catherine of Aragon, but so did the powers behind the throne as well, and the systems in place. So interesting. Let's keep pulling. Catherine of Aragon. Ten of Cups, the family. I feel we're going into dual timeline type stuff here, so this reading is going to be very all over the place. Buckle up. Okay, so Ten of Cups is I want to have, I as in Catherine, Princess of Wales, I want to come back into this situation, but in this present incarnation, I want this. I want a family. Yes, I'll be royal, but I also want the family. Yeah. And possibly she wanted that as Catherine of Aragon as well. And we know as well, all of these marriages were fundamentally, especially once they started to come away from Catherine of Aragon, it was about babies. In fact, let's be correct. It was about male babies. He needed his heir and he needed many spares as well, because in the Tudor times, children died. Um, so the pressure was on for perfection. The pressure was on to submit to sex. And it feels as though there were times when it was like submitting to sex, especially when she was aware of his affairs, his as Henry VIII's. Um, let's keep going. The Three of Swords, the heartbreak that she went through in that incarnation, the fog, the mist, the brutality. And she's saying that back then, divorce and banishment for a woman was horrific. And she's also saying the books, the films, the dramas, she says even the historians, and she's aware that there's some really good historians out there. You can't comprehend it. You can't comprehend what it meant. And I'm going cold, I'm getting the chills. What it meant to be a Princess of Wales or a woman or a queen or a duchess or a countess or whatever, and to be banished, to feel not good enough. She's also pointing me in the direction of her age, around about the time that Henry started to lose interest, um, into the mid late 30s, into the 40s, when already your body is changing, when your sex drive is changing, when you're changing mentally, physically, when you're feeling more vulnerable. And she's also saying as well that I actually think this is going to be a channeling, by the way. She's also saying that there wasn't back then what there is now to try and, the creams, the lotions, the potions, the makeup, the hair stuff, the perfumes, the shower gels, the creams to help you to make you feel better. You couldn't really even brush your teeth properly. So I'm being shown the raw life of Catherine of Aragon. Um, I'm also being shown the fact that she's shown as strong to the end, but there was a part of her that really gave in or wanted to give in. Let's keep pulling. And the King of Cups is going under the King of Wands. That's the split personality. The split personality of the young king or the young prince that she first fell for or married. We know that she was also married to his brother Arthur, but how he changed from being the young king that was It's interesting because usually the King of Cups, I mean, kings can look older. In the tarot decks. It's the pages in the Knight's Cup that can be portrayed as younger. In this deck, he looks young. So we're dealing with a split personality, this man that could be loving and kind and generous and romantic to then the hothead that came in. I remember ages ago having a dream about Henry and Anne. And in this dream, Anne was behind, she was hiding behind a pillar with another one of her ladies, and she was saying to her lady, because she didn't want to speak to me directly, tell her, as in me, about the schizophrenia. Now, I know back then they did not know about schizophrenia, but when you channel spirit, they use your vocabulary, they use your voice. So that's why it sounds like you talking to yourself. Sometimes you can pick up on the accent, and it's the same here. There was some type of a personality trait. We'll pull some cards on it if you remember. The Knight of Pentacles. Been sent to a different country as well. So we've got a country, a cultural difference as well. And that'll be similar for when we get to, let's call her Anne of Cleves, until I actually find out how we should be saying it. When we get to Anne of Cleves, because Anne of Cleves was the same. She was brought from another country, a young woman, a young girl, into a strange land to take on this role. The Four of Wands. And you felt proud as a woman as well, I'm hearing. You felt proud that Prince showed an interest. Back then, it was about titles, and especially as a woman, because you weren't really allowed to, well, you weren't allowed to own your own money, own your own land. I mean, even with like Anna of Cleves, it was all Henry VIII's, even when he gave it to her. The devil, so the darkness. And it soon started to unravel. And the moon comes in, the illusion, and the Queen of Cups energy. That's interesting. How I've got it on my table is you've got your King of Cups, then you've got the Queen of Cups. But in amongst this is you've got the ambition of others and the ambition of the king. You've got the structures of royalty. You've also got the dark and the stuff that came in with the affairs and all of the stuff with Anne Boleyn, which was really dark and toxic and the shadow. So it's almost like there was a time when they were close, but then something came in and gradually started to separate them. The Hierophant, so gaining comfort from the light and religion. So, what was it like to be married to Henry VIII? What was it like to be married to Henry VIII? What was it like to be married to Henry VIII? Three cards from this deck and three cards from the other. Oops, what was it like to be married to Henry VIII in the young days, in the early days? So, what was it like to be married to Henry, early days? Two of Pentacles, a balancing act. Oops. Knight of Swords at the bottom, a hot-headed young prince, king. The world, the ending of a cycle, the beginning of a new cycle. The fresh new prince coming in as a king. A Nine of Pentacles, feeling worthy, feeling confident, feeling safe and abundant. Right. We'll do the Radiant Rider-Waite deck now. What was it like being married to a young Henry? With this deck, we'll do the reverses as well. What was it like being married to a young Henry? Show me, please. So, young ideas, Lots of new initiatives coming in, fresh starts, hot energy. There has never been a placid, gentle soul. There may have been the loving King of Cups at the beginning, but there's always been that fire energy there. The world, same as that, same as the other spread that we did. The new beginning, the new start. It was an exciting time. She's saying it was an exciting time because the old king was the one that had won the crown. This was a born king. Do you know what I mean? There was hopes that, this could be a new reign, a new beginning. He was a young man that could also sire sons. Page of Swords, and we'll have one more. And the Queen of Wands in reverse. So that was a time when there was no Anne Boleyn. In my readings, if you followed me for some time, you will know that Queen of Wands comes in for Meghan and Anne, the other hot-headed queen. And obviously, Meghan is no, shy wallflower, is she? She's, who she is. Um, I'm intrigued to see. I know I said just three, but I'm intrigued. Yeah, that's interesting. That's we've got very similar cards. When Anne came in is when the confidence started to be affected. But this also again feels like dual timeline things. Right, let's move on to what it was like being married to him as an older middle-aged king. So what was it like being married to an older middle-aged Henry? What was it like being married to an older middle-aged Henry? What was it like being married to an older middle-aged Henry? Oh, similar. Two of Pentacles again, a balancing act. Four of Swords at the bottom, which can be retreat. It can be dealing with somebody that's cold. We know that she was banished as well. Temperance, having to walk a tightrope. Two of Pentacles as well. He's like, I don't know where I am. I don't know where I stand. One minute he loves me, the next minute he hates me. One minute he's having sex with me, the next minute he's going off with other people. Dealing with an old man. We wasn't an old man, but with them standards he was. Dealing with someone that's stuck in there. I need a son. My power. Almost somebody that had got lost in power and need and won and being a king. That young, handsome prince that she knew had gone. So, Radiant Rider Waite deck now. Show me what it was like being married to an older, middle-aged Henry. Ooh, again, Two of Pentacles is like, you're not solid in something. You've got a foot in both worlds. You're not solid in who you are as a woman, in your role. This Two of Pentacles comes up a lot. So the affairs, the Three of Cups, a King of, now when King of Swords comes up in reverse, you're dealing with a tyrant. When he's upright, he's intelligent, he can hold himself, he can do speeches, he can plan his life. When he's in reverse, he's a piece of work. The Tower in reverse as well. So it's deep, dark, dangerous. It's the rocking of your foundations. It's the party's over. I want to do a clarifier for the Three of Cups. The Chariot next, it's heartbreak. She's also showing me as well that on some level, all the wives were I was going to say different, but it came out as similar. They were seen as faceless. They all encountered the same problems. They were all promised the earth. They were all promised this love and this prince or this king or marriage and, being a queen of Christendom and all of that. But they all got the same. They all had to deal with the same. Okay, I want you to show me now what Henry VIII's mental situation was like. Can you show me, please, what he was like? What was his mental health like? Oh, God. Yeah, the joy, but also this has just flipped out as well. Two personalities, or even possibly more than two personalities. And a head injury. I know he had a horse accident, like joisting accidents, but a head injury. Let me get this straight, because there's a scene, isn't there, where he falls off of his horse. He's still married to Anne. She's pregnant, and they think he's dead. There's something about a head injury that he's had. Um, that yeah, illusion and delusion. That possibly anything that was there was increased. Oops. So show me Henry VIII's mental state towards the end of your marriage. Two of Cups. Again, we've got the twos. Ace of Wands. Let's keep pulling. Nine of Swords, mental conflict, many different personalities. Um, she's saying if he was alive today, which he kind of is, but he isn't, there'd be bipolar diagnoses. Um, she's saying if he was alive today, there'd be talks about is he actually well enough to be a king? It would have been spotted early doors. It was a definite mental health issue. Restrictions, very restrictive. Whatever was wrong with him, I'm not here to die. I'm a tarot reader. I ain't a mental psychologist. But I'm feeling that whatever was wrong was restrictive. He struggled to see perspective. He struggled with empathy. He struggled with seeing other people's perspective. It was all about him. It was all about him. It very quickly unraveled. Show me his mental health. Show me his mental state. Show me his mental state. Out of balance, really out of balance, erratic behavior, ungrounded behavior, lack mentality, no connection to source. Queen of Wands playing her role in that as well. We mustn't blame Anne Boleyn for that because I think, these problems were already there, but they got amplified during that time um, with her wants and needs. Intrigued to do another one. Also, her playing fast and loose with him drove him insane. Um, allegedly, according to history, she played the game with him. She didn't just submit. She made him work for it. And I feel as I don't again, I'm not into my mental conditions, but I'm feeling that made it worse. Now again, you're dealing with Catherine of Aragon, whose view will be, you know, he was okay kind of until Anne came along, but there's a real you can also say the same with what we're seeing now with the current incarnation. There's been something that's been, let's just say, amplified. Queen of Wands clarifier. The Empress are creating the mysteriousness around her. Um, it's almost like there's an energy of he never really fully recovered from Anne and all of that came up with Anne. And she's saying a lot of time was wasted there. Those years trying to divorce Catherine, trying to woo Anne, a lot of time was wasted. That's kind of sad. She's also saying as well, there were more fertile women around that if he really genuinely needed this heir and he genuinely needed to get another wife, she's saying from her perspective now looking back, there was much more fertile women within the court that he could have actually gone with. Um, That's interesting. Well, she's showing me another timeline where if he'd have just spent time on what he had with Catherine and Princess Mary and actually nourished and nurtured Princess Mary, I wonder if Mary, anyway, who knows, would have been Mary in Tudor times, who knows. If they'd have spent more time on that, there's a timeline where she could have actually married someone that would have been in alignment with it. And it could have avoided, it was almost what we'd call it a timeline shift. If we'd have thought, you know what, this isn't working, I'm just getting tied up in knots. Um, I'm going to focus on Mary. I'm going to focus on what we've already got. And I'm going to really focus on getting her a really good alliance and actually getting her into a point of empowerment. Um, She's also saying that it could have even been passed back to the Plantagenet line if there was options. And again, this mental thing that he's got where he can't say options, it's that or it's that, and a lot of the time it's just that. Um, Spiraled him. Right, I want to look at your passing if that's okay. Show me the reason why you died. Why did you die? Show me the reason why you died. I heard the word canker. I know that was cancer. What's this? Okay, okay. So Sword of Swords. Hello. Four of Swords. Four of Swords has just sprung out with the Queen of Cups. Temperance. There is this element though of something being mixed, a mixture. And a witch's cauldron. There were rumours that Anne liked to have a little bit of a dabble. Um, the Four of Pentacles, which again is the Henry VIII. Right, let's pull cards from the Radiant Rider-Waite. Don't put that spread there. So show me the real reason for your death. To bring about something. To bring about a death. I don't think it was Anne. I think it was the king, allegedly, according to the tarot. Cover myself up legally. Again, blame the woman. Show me the cause of your death, please. She was burden, releasing the burden. She possibly did have a cancer or canker, but releasing the burden. King of Pentacle again. When you get a King of Pentacle, when he's upright, he's a dependable business partner. He's someone that's trustworthy. He's someone that you want to get into money arrangements with. He's dependable as well. He's earned his stripes in life. When he's in reverse, you don't want to get into business or connection with him. He can be underhand dealings. The Hierophant, the powers that were. There's also the element of it's your time to go as well. And the King of Cups. Two more cards. I'm getting intrigued. Three of Wands. Something, the result of something. And the Queen of Pentacle. Can I have a clarifier for the Queen of Pentacle? Justice in reverse. A knight involved in this. So somebody that is set, again, I do have to watch myself. I know it's a long time ago. We still have to look after yourself. There isn't, let me just have a, were you poisoned? Were you poisoned? Were you poisoned? Betrayed. Eight of Cups, which is some, you know, again, a cup and retreating. Let's do a card from this one. I think she possibly was. I think she was ill. I think obviously she's going to be ill. They were putting her in awful castles that were damp and she wasn't getting proper food. They were trying to drive her mad. Um, were you poisoned? Were you poisoned? Out in the cold. The family at the bottom. Can I have a clarifier for the family? Let's see what the next card is. The Emperor. Whatever it is very shaded. The family card. Oops. Clarifier for that. The King of Swords, which can be whoosh, and other people's needs. Um, I don't think if it is poison, I don't think it's just one person. I even wonder if it could have even been from her own people as well. Um, Either people that were living with her. It doesn't feel as though she was surrounded by people that were totally trustworthy. It can also be all of this, you know. I think there was an illness there. I think her health was not in a good place. I think that she was helped along. Um, I think possibly the king was aware of it or behind it. I think there was somebody within the places that she was living, you know, that was helping to plants or something. I also wonder as well whether her own Spanish court, her own Spanish home, because again, they like to use women as pawns. Um, she's showing me her smell. There's again, I am not a herbalist and I'm not into poisons, thank God. As in, thank God I'm not into poisons, for everybody's sake. But she's saying something about a poison that would make you smell afterwards. You're all Googling it now. I'm going to be Googling it. Um, are you allowed to show me a picture or a screenshot from that time? I'm being shown a little brown bag, a little brown envelope. We don't want to call it an envelope, but a pocket of herbs that somebody grinds and they sprinkle in her food. It wasn't obvious, but it wasn't helpful, if that makes sense. Um, she's saying we really don't understand how dark it was back then. A lot of it just hasn't been able to come out. And even like your own people, the people that you think you're safe with, can turn on you and do turn on you. Anything else you would like to say, Catherine of Aragon? Right, let's pull some cards on how you're feeling now and where you are now on your soul's journey. So we can end on a high. Where are you now on your soul's journey, Catherine of Aragon? Ooh, okay, nice one. Okay, so two of wands in reverse and the tower in reverse. I'll read them properly in a minute. We've got the Knight of Swords at the bottom, so going forward, determined to see it through to the end. Judgment and the burden, death and rebirth, and the Ace of Pentacles to go forward. That's interesting. We've got the red rose there, the Tudor rose. All of that wisdom and knowledge in her garden of life, coming through and making that breakthrough so that she can go forward. I think this Two of Wands, Tower, and Judgment energy is what has just occurred over the past year with Catherine, Princess of Wales, where everything that came up, this real dark night of the soul, you've been given a little glimpse of what was going on, but I've said there's been many different layers here. Going through that dark night of the soul energy to come back up, to face and release your burdens, to then rebirth yourself, and it feels like a death of the old self, to then know exactly what you want and having the power to seed something new that actually feels more like where you are now. There's been a big change from Catherine of Aragon to Catherine, and it's a Diana, Princess of Wales. Diana, shh, to Catherine, Princess of Wales. There's been a big shift and a big change. And there's a rising up with the High Priestess, coming more into balance with her intuition, and knowing that you can be a princess, future queen, present queen, but actually have boundaries and actually really find your power and step into your power and step into your King of Cups energy and having the right person next to you and your tribe, the Three of Cups. And that's how you can create something beautiful. And that reminds me, actually, you see, Catherine sometimes wears there's a slow call on plimsolls. Let me know in the comments where she'll wear a suit and some white plimsolls. But that also reminds me of that picture. I think it was just before Trooper of the Colour last year, where she had her arms folded at that leaning on a tree. It reminds me of that. Yes, I know my responsibilities and my duty in the institutions, but I'm also bringing in natural, crafty, as in crafting, um, holistic, wholesome creativity. I'm not afraid to appear in public with plimsolls on or trainers or my hair scraped back into a ponytail. I don't actually, and actually making this big stand about actually not showing up in tiaras and stuff. I think she'll eventually come back to tiaras. I think it's very profound. And, focusing towards the top job. So, this is at the time of filming, this is the first wife I've looked at. Come back another day for Anne Boleyn, which should be interesting. I will try and get through these as quickly as I can, but if there gets to a point where I have a few days off, it's fine. I'm gonna see this through to the end. Thanks for watching. Love to all. This will be part of a playlist called Historical Role Tarot, where you can work your way through lots of videos where we look at different aspects of royal history with tarot, energy work, and channeling. Thanks for watching. Love to all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.